Hi, I'm Jim Hodge, pastor of the Aldersgate United Methodist Church, and welcome to this very special episode of Sequestered Spirituality, one that celebrates a church feast day we call Pentecost. Weeks after the resurrection, the disciples were gathered in an upper room, dark place, much like this one perhaps, and they weren't just having fun playing parcheesi, they were hiding out for fear of being found out as followers of Jesus. They were afraid to go anywhere. And they were discussing at length, probably, how it is that they thought they could get out of Jerusalem to make their escape. And then suddenly, there was a rush of a mighty wind. Okay. That might have been just a bit too mighty. Can we find? We need some light here. Oh, okay. Let's just call it not such a mighty wind, but a breath of fresh air. And a breath of fresh air came over the disciples. And then they knew because, well, it was almost as if there were light bulbs over their heads. And so they knew they would make their way out of the city during the next High Holy Feast Day, which was the Jewish feast day of Shavuot, or the feast day of the first fruits, or the first grain harvest. And they would just, sort of meld in with the crowd and find their way out of the city that way. And so one disciple probably said to the rest, maybe it was Peter, I don't know, Peter seemed to be a natural leader, but maybe Peter said to the rest of the disciples, okay, so here's the dealio, guys. We'll act all natural, we'll just slip slowly away by wending our way from party to party and family to family until, well, we hit the county line. And then it's freedom for us. And it nearly worked. They might have pulled it off except for one thing. The Spirit of Christ already alive within them. When they met people on the street, well, they began to speak to them in their own lingo, just to pass themselves off as regular schmoes, just there for the festival, and hi and howdy, and let's be on our way. But something else happened. As they listened to others and heard who they were and where they came from and what their lives were like, their hopes and their dreams, well, they began to talk back with them, to really, really listen and have a conversation. And then they were overcome with this joyous urge to share the good news that their teacher had taught them. And so that's what they did, person to person, family to family, party to party, in the vernacular of their own language. They talked about Jesus and Jesus' teachings. It was a marvelous event. The students of Jesus had indeed become teachers themselves. And that's the day the church was born. The miracle of Pentecost was not that they were speaking different languages. The miracle was that they got out of hiding. They took themselves out of their insulated existence and put themselves out there to really listen, to get to know others. And in that getting to know them, in that listening, they began to tell others of the good news of God in Christ. That's the miracle. And that's the miracle of Pentecost today. Not so much about speaking languages we've never spoken before, but more about bringing ourselves out of hiding, out of our insulated existence, and putting ourselves into the reality, into the minutiae of others' lives, getting to know them, getting to know their language, their meanings, their cultures. And in that context, with loving care, offering them the good news of God's love. That's the miracle of Pentecost today. So happy Pentecost, friends. I hope you'll find a way to get out there and to share that love with someone. Maybe you know them already. Maybe they're a neighbor. Maybe it's somebody you'll meet for the first time. The miracle of Pentecost lives on. You know, before I get out of here, I want to work on some motivational catchphrases like telling God yes, making a mess, sharing the word, gospel unheard, singing God's praise, life in a daze, preaching the truth, living uncouth, spirits on fire, time to retire, speaking good news, spiritual snooze, forgive and love, a push and shove, making a mark, hide in the dark. You know, I could do this all day. Wait, what? What, seriously? Wait, how am I supposed to get out of here now? Can somebody turn the light back on? I mean, oh, ooh, ow, ooh, ooh. Oh, stay safe, friends. Be well.